Hey guys, Ryan from Spyker Workshop, and in this video we're going to be talking about how to assemble the basher bodies for the new Spyker Cat 2X. And these products are sold separately on my website just because there will be many other top modules and you'll be able to mix and match them. So to complete the whole body with basher kits, you'll need two front/rear, which is this one and the one in the back. They're identical, so you need two of those and then one of the middle body. And the middle body has a panel cutout. It will come with a second one that's just blank also, so you can customize it. And that is for, if you order the electronics kit also for the Spyker Cat 2X, you'll get this voltage meter and this specific on and off switch, and that's what gets mounted on that panel. And the switch is cool because it has a removable key, so no one can like start the thing up unless you want them to, which is pretty cool. So to start assembling the lids, you will need the drill guide, which is either included in your kit or you can download them on my site and print them out. And it shows you how to drill. It's very similar to the Cat. And let's see, just a couple notes are some of these countersunken holes are coming from the other side. So like this part, for example, that's this part here. So these holes will be drilled, and some of the holes are not visible on one side, so they have to flip it over to drill those. And then these go through this way here. But these holes, it's showing to countersink and drill, so you'll use a 1/8 inch drill on these and then countersink them from the other side, which would be the smooth side like this. And then similar to these black parts, it's countersunk from the other side of the picture. And yeah, that's the difficult things. So I'll go ahead and countersink all these parts to get ready for assembly. One quick thing to mention is when you're drilling some of these parts, some of the holes aren't that visible, but it's those two dots there, which is the center of the hole. And then on this particular part, they go straight through. You can see I did this side. So it's straight through from the back side, and they kind of stick out like that. So I'll be showing how to assemble the front lid, and then I'll skip ahead to just some parts on the middle lid because they all have very similar components. So once you have your parts drilled, here is what it should look like the countersinking on some of the parts, like here also. So this is the screw that we'll be using the most often throughout this whole top lid assembly. And to get started, the green part will go like this, and then from the outside we'll use those flathead screws, and then I'll put both of those on. So once that's screwed, it should look like this. There should be like a lip right here because the colored part's on the inside like that. And then next, using the same screws, this part with the larger side facing up will come from the inside like this. And then I'll go ahead and screw all those in, 4 here and 4 across the top. Also, if you notice this part is not lining up very well with the holes here, you might have to file this ledge down a little bit. This one is slightly too tall. And then also on the ends, there might be just a couple little globs to kind of file down, and then it will fit better. So once that's screwed in, it should look like this here. And then the next step is to put the back side on, which is this part, which should have the countersink holes on this side. And then this will get screwed on here. And this also could use, or potentially could use some filing to get it to fit. but I'll screw that together. On this part, it helps to start the two opposite end screws to line everything up, and then screw in the rest on top. So one thing to quick mention is these screws are pretty small, so just do them tight enough, because you can strip these out if you go too crazy with the screwdriver. You can feel when they bottom out, because they have a coarse thread on them. It works well, but just be, cautious not to go too deep. So this is how it should look like after it's all screwed together. And then I'm going to do the same for the other end, and then the middle half. This end is the exact same on the middle, and then the other end is slightly different, so I'll show you that in a second. So here I have the two front and rear panels done. And the middle panel, the back side is the exact same as the front that we just did. But the only difference is on this side where the electrical panel will be. This will screw up from underneath like this, using the same screws we've been using. And then after you get that on, this will screw in from the side, pretty much just like the back. So here the panel is installed. And if you got the electronics kit through me, you will have received this switch and this voltmeter. The voltmeter will just push in place here. And then the switch, there is one side that's kind of flat. So I like to have the on facing the front of the vehicle. But that will get installed like this. And then put the screw through the other side to hold it in place. And if you're printing your own and you're doing your own electronics, you can email me if you would like me to custom make a cutout panel for different electronics that you're using, because it's a simple thing for me to do in the software. So just send me an email or something if you need anything like that. So the last step to assemble the bodies is to put on the sliding lock clips using this hardware. And this hardware shown is just for one clip, but the kit comes with everything you need. But these clips have a right and left, so this one would go on the other side of this. This notch part should be sticking down below the hull, like this. And then also make sure that on the inside of these parts that you countersunk these holes, because these parts will be going through here. And then on the outside, like I said, make sure that notch part is on this side of the body. And then I'll just put on the washer and nut. And these, the amount of tension on the screws you'll have to play around with. I keep mine just loose enough so they don't move on their own. But you should be able to slide this fairly easily. So I have all the slide clips installed now. You can see the middle body takes 2 on each side. And one thing to note is even if you loosen them loose and they're not sliding very easily, you can take the washer and flip the washer the other way, because some of them have a little rounded edge. Some of them are sharper than others, so sometimes the sharp edge will dig into the part and not let it slide. But it should be pretty easy to slide like this, just so it's not loose where it's falling on its own, So last thing is to show you how to put them on the snowcat. So here is the front lid, and the way it works is these grooves here actually get put in here first. So when you put the front and rear on, you kind of load it in like that, and then put it back over there like that. And if your lid catches here and won't actually go all the way down, you might have to either sand or just file this sharp edge here. If you round it a little bit, it will help it get over this. And it's the same with the printed hull also. And then to latch it, you just move those clips over. And if those are a little hard to latch, you might have to file the bottom of the groove here, like this part. But it should be pretty close. And then the middle has the 2 instead of, or I mean the 4 instead of 2. And that just clips in like that. And then the rear also. So once you have all the bodies on, the thing truly is magnificent. And there will be a separate video for how to do the electronics. But that wraps up the video on how to put together the basher bodies. So leave me some comments if you have any questions or anything. And thanks for watching. Check out my other videos.